Hey everyone, my name is Blake Cadwell. I'm the co-founder at Soundly.com, and in this video, we're going to be reviewing MD hearing aids. These are budget option hearing aids that cost only $300 or $400 online. I'm going to put them through the paces, review them in depth. I'll share my experience as well as how they stack up with other budget options and some of the premium prescription options on the market. So let's get into it. Before we get into the products that MD Hearing sells, let's talk a little bit about the company behind these products. So initially, around 10 or 11 years ago, the founder of MD Hearing was an ENT doctor and was seeing patients who couldn't afford the traditional hearing aids on the market. So he became frustrated. He talked to a number of manufacturers. He found a manufacturer who would make these budget products, and then he began to sell them to his patients and ultimately opened up a brand. MD Hearing was really one of the first brands on the market to sell directly to the consumer. Now, the level of technology that they evolved to was never that advanced, but they really always stuck to this idea that they could sell a product for just a few $100s. Today, the two products that I'm holding are $297 and $397, depending on the sales that the brand is running at that time. Now, compare that to the national average of $4,500 for a pair, and this almost fits in kind of a class of its own. It's not entirely fair to compare it pace for pace with a product that's several $1,000s. Still, in this video, I'm hoping to give you a sense for whether this is a product you should even be considering at all, or if you should take a little step up. MD Hearing offers 4 products at this time. 2 of them sit behind the ear, and 2 of them sit inside the ear. Now, the products that sit behind the ear look something like this. They have a piece that sits behind the ear, a little tube that reaches up over the ear, and then the sound gets, of course, put into the ear canal itself. These devices tend to be a little bit more advanced than the second option on the MD Hearing website, which is their in-ear model. Now, they've got an in-ear, which is called Neo, and then they've got a Neo XS, or extra small, which just recently came out. These products are a little bit less advanced in their sound processing, but they're obviously a little bit smaller in your ear canal as well. And they might be something that people who wear face masks or oxygen or glasses might want to consider because they're out of the way of that area behind your ear. The entire product range is rechargeable. So all the products that MD sells do come with a recharge case. And what's really nice is these recharge cases carry charge, so you don't have to have it plugged in all the time in order to get some charge during the day. And the battery lives themselves are pretty impressive at 15, 16, 17, even 20 hours, depending on the model that you choose. Now, it's really important to note that MD Hearing does not allow customization to your specific hearing loss. So if you're just becoming familiar with the world of hearing health, it's important to know that if you were to take a hearing test, the shape of your hearing loss is unique. Every single person's is different. Mine goes down in the middle and comes back up. The MD hearing aids do not customize to your loss. Instead, they customize to common losses. So a common loss is a slope. This product probably customizes generally towards a slope. It's going to work for some people, but it won't be exactly to your custom specifications. That said, this is one of the major reasons that MD Hearing is able to sell their products at just a few $100s. Lacks the customization, but it also drives down the cost. So that's the trade-off that you're looking at with this brand. So let's talk about the sound quality itself. The first thing to note is that MD Hearing is not investing heavily in R&D. These are not the cutting-edge sound algorithms using AI, but that probably doesn't come as a surprise to you. What you might wonder is, how well do they hold up? What do they actually sound like? The first thing I'll say is if you drop down to the comments below, we'll link to our full review of this product, which includes some sound recordings through this specific pair actually of MD Airs. So you can hear what a sound recording sounds like. You can compare that on Soundly.com to other products on the market that are prescription products or those that are direct to consumer or telehealth prescribed. So that's one good option if you're trying to get your sense for the sound quality of these products. The other thing I can share is my own experience. Now, I spent quite a bit of time wearing these MD Hearing Airs, which is the version that sits behind the ear with the tube that goes up over the top of the ear. And I wore them here in the studio, I wore them a bit at home, and I also wore them in some really loud background noise environments like downtown near my office and also in Sweet Green locally where I got lunch. In all of these environments, I really took note on a couple of things. I really thought about comfort. How comfortable are these products, and can I wear them for a sustained period of time? And then also clarity. I'm looking for the ability to hear the sound of the person who's serving me my salad. Do I understand what they're asking me? Do I know what to say next? And can these hearing aids really cut through that background noise and give me the clarity of voice? What I notice is that MDHearing products hold up really well up to a certain threshold of background noise. So when I'm here in my studio, let's say I'm playing a video, I can hear that really clearly. If I walk out into the lobby and I interact with someone, just fine. Even if I'm on the street and there's some background noise, but it's not intensely loud, these hearing aids can handle it, and I am getting that boost in clarity. I can hear speech relatively well. Now, it's when I walked into the place where I get my lunch, where the decibel levels are probably at 90, 85, something like that, that the product really started to break down. And I was still getting the volume, but the difference between speech and noise was really indecipherable. So I was actually missing words. I was hearing too much noise and not enough speech. Now, if I had a premium prescription product in and I was ordering that same salad, that product would be making adjustments to turn down the background noise and turn up the noise of the person speaking in front of me. So that's really where the biggest differentiator came in terms of sound quality of this product versus a really premium product. I also paid special attention to comfort. Are these products wearable throughout the day? And comfort really comes down to two things for me. One, it's the ability to physically wear the product in my ear without occlusion or discomfort. And I found the behind the ear options were relatively comfortable, definitely something I could wear for hours on end without any problem. I did have some trouble with the in the ear model because of occlusion. So when you completely plug up your ears and then you talk, it sounds really boomy. I had that challenge with these in the ear models because they plug up the ear more completely than the behind the ear model. Another way I think about comfort is sound suppression of sudden sounds. So if I drop a plate or if a door slams near me, how well can these hearing aids adjust in the moment and not over amplify that sound? Now I would say MDHearing was passable, but not great in this environment. If I'm wearing a really premium product, it'll do a great job of suppressing that noise instantly. MDHearing did an okay job, but I still felt there was some discomfort when a plate dropped or a door slammed very loudly. So what are my overall thoughts on MDHearing and sort of where they sit in the hearing health landscape? I've obviously now tried this product, and I've tried dozens of other products all across the price spectrum. And one thing that's very clear is that MDHearing is playing a completely different game. Instead of over-investing in R&D and adding new features and really trying to push the edge of what's possible in sound processing, they're bringing a hardworking, common sense product that they can reasonably sell for just a few $100s. It's almost a completely different idea than what a premium prescription hearing aid for $4,000 or $5,000 is all about. So if you only have a few $100s to spend and you're looking for that product that's less than $500, I would say MDHearing is my recommendation. I think this is the strongest budget product on the market. It's reasonably comfortable. It does a reasonably good job, especially in lower background noise situations. If you're someone who mostly needs help in front of the TV, maybe you need help at home with quieter voices, and you're not going to be pushing your hearing aids to the absolute limits, this product could get the job done for you. The other advantage is that it's incredibly easy to set up. Now, the flip side of that is you're not customizing it to your particular hearing loss, which is a drawback in terms of total performance. But you pretty much pull these products out of the box. There are a few things you can change with the buttons on board, but there's not a whole lot of setup. So it is easy for someone to just get started and get some immediate support if they're struggling to hear in everyday situations. So that's it. I hope you've enjoyed this review of MDHearing and found it helpful. If you want more information on this brand or you want to compare their products, drop down to the comments below, and we wish you the best in your search.